Open your spiritual eyes. Listen with the inner ear. Open your mind. And just what is it that we must see and hear and understand? It is this. This thing called life flows into everything and through everything. It passes into every human event and translates itself through every human act. If you think of this life as flowing through your every act, you will soon discover that the things you give your attention to are quickened with a new energy, for you are breathing the very essence of being into them. You know that you can think yourself into being unhappy and depressed. You know that you can think yourself into being glad. Did it ever occur to you that you can also think yourself into being well, into being prosperous? That you can think yourself into success? Well, you can if you believe in the law of life and use it rightly. But you must learn to use it affirmatively. You must learn to identify yourself with your desires. You must become the master of your own thinking. This is the only way you can realize freedom and joy. Therefore, you will have to turn your thoughts away from lack and want and limitation, and let them dwell on the good. Make yourself do this. Learn to think about what you wish to become. You see, you are a thinking center in life, and the chief characteristic of the law of this life is that it responds to your thought. Your slightest thought sets up a vibration in it, sets its creative intelligence in motion, and causes it to create circumstances for you which correspond to your thought. If you think of life as always bringing to you everything you need, you will have formed a partnership with the invisible, which will prosper you in everything you do. If you think of the organs and functions of your body as activities of life, then automatically you will be benefited physically. The spiritual gifts, which people have so earnestly sought after, are not something that God has withheld from man. Quite the reverse. They are something which man in his ignorance has withheld from himself. Life is never vindictive. It is not withholding anything from you. It is not even waiting until you are good enough to receive. Life is love. Life is beauty and wisdom as well as energy and imagination. You will be able to use its power in exact proportion as you embody its essence. If our acts, as they must, spring from our inward thoughts, then it follows that when we change our inward thoughts, we shall at the same time change what they do. That is, we shall be introducing a new law of cause and effect into our lives, and the effects of our previous mistakes will disappear. Doesn't that seem wonderful? The one, then, who would heal hate must first learn to love. The one who would live a beautiful life must commune with beauty. He must feel beauty. The one who would give happiness must first become happy. The one who would heal a sense of loss must first have arrived at an inner realization of wholeness. Miracles are natural. Every manifestation of faith through prayer, every wonder and sign which has followed the life of prayer, has been an inevitable result of some cause set in motion in the life principle. Every longing and yearning you have ever had, every secret desire of your soul, every constructive ambition you have had, is a whispering of this thing called life, assuring you that you are one with it. You are a manifestation, a personification of it. You are a center where life passing through you becomes a definite, a distinct, and a unique individual. There is no one else like you in all the universe, and there never will be. If you will take time daily to sense the presence of life within you, to believe in it, to accept it, it will not be long before the life which you have known will gradually disappear, and something new will be born, a bigger, better, and more perfect you. You will pass from death into life, from lack and want into greater freedom, from fear into faith. From a sense of being alone, you will become one with everything. You will rejoice in this oneness. Now, there may be some who think that before they can accept this position, they must first become profound philosophers, spiritual sages, or men of such deep scientific knowledge that they stand apart from the rest of the world. This is not true at all. What the wisest have known is only a little more than you and I know. They cannot answer your questions for you. You will have to answer them for yourself. Even the best man who ever lived could not live for you. You will have to live for yourself. Fortunately, you do not have to borrow power from anyone. You are using the law of life every time you think. And no matter how long you may have been using it wrongly and ignorant, the very day, that hour, yes, the very moment, you begin to use this power rightly, the effects of having used it wrongly will pass from your experience. Does it make any difference how long a room has been dark? Does it make any difference when you introduce a light? Does it make any difference how long the earth has been parched when refreshing rains come to bring a new life, a new seed time, and a new harvest to the field? This is where faith plays its great role. For without faith, it is impossible for one to do his best or get the most out of living. This does not mean faith in your personality alone, but faith in the great ocean of life itself, faith in God. No one has ever yet found a substitute for this kind of faith. I have never known anyone whose faith in himself, just as an individual or as a person, was great enough to meet the issues of life. I have met many who have tried this, but as yet I have never seen it prove successful. There is something about our very nature that demands a constant communion with the invisible. Every man is some part of God, whether or not he knows or believes it. But we hypnotize ourselves into thinking that we are incomplete and imperfect. We identify ourselves with the fantastic pictures of our morbid dreams. But the ropes that bind us are ropes of sand. Let us cease to wonder what made the machinery get out of order and spend our time in a positive realization that there is a divine mechanic at the center of our being who knows how to repair it. And having thoroughly cleansed our mental house, we must now get a new tenant, one who knows how to live in it, one who knows that he is living in the house of God. He is in heaven now. He is the guest of the infinite today.